Okay, it's Saturday, June 10th, and let's be real here. Isn't there at least one thing everybody on Earth does, or maybe a few things that are kind of strange? Like some of you have some weird natural talent or ability, like to do something goofy or quirky, or everybody has something, a spouse, a friend, one of your kids, brother, sister. Everybody has that one thing that when they do it, you just kind of look at them strangely and say, like, what? Well, I have that one thing, and I don't know what it is, but ever since the late 70s and early 80s, when the Star Wars movies came out, I found out I can do a pretty good Yoda voice, at least according to everybody. And what is one of Yoda's most famous sayings? Come on, think about it. What's one of his famous sayings?
Help you, I will.
Okay, well, let's do that. Let's help you, I will. Okay, so it's Saturday. Let's have some fun. I'm about to go to SeaWorld. The whole family wants to go to SeaWorld. So, okay, we're going to go to SeaWorld and see dolphins and whales and all that kind of stuff and roast in high 90-degree weather. So, I had a trader that was struggling. Um, and when I find somebody struggling, I typically find when I show them setups, they're usually not following them the way I've instructed, or they're trying to add their old stuff that wasn't working to the mix. And I kind of get to a point, I'm just say, look, I've given you a couple different options, and so far we're not finding anything that clicks with you visually or mentally or psychologically to get you to just let go of all that other stuff or what you're trying to do and just follow something brain dead simple. And I've had three people that I've been working with, especially this one. This one I could tell that stuff was not sticking. And I all of a sudden I put him on this and right away it was instantly effective. Then I tried it on two other traders and right away instantly effective. What did I notice? I noticed they let go of what they were trying to do, which was not what I originally wanted them to do. It was kind of a blend. And they just followed it, and this is the key, they believed it could work and it could help them. So what was that? Yoda was working with Luke and he wanted him to believe that he could use the Force to lift the X-Wing fighter out of the murky, gooky pond on God knows what planet. That is actually really similar to trading. If you don't get to a point where you can believe you can execute trades profitably, you can have the best damn set of tools and it just won't click for you. So if you're struggling or if you want to add something to the mix that is pretty brain dead simple to understand, let's get you set up with this. And I'm going to build this entire setup as its own standalone indicator as part of the QuantVue set of trader tools for whoever wants to use it. And I think this will be what I consider our new setup for beginner or developing traders before they get into Moneyball Duel, or working levels trades or looking for M and W patterns. Uh, it's just like I can feel when something's instantly helping a trader believe that they can do something and lift that X-Wing fighter out of the water. So I'm going to show you what it is. So here's kind of pre-market Chicago, US Central Time. This is whether you're trading like the NQs or the MNQs. I like the data better from the CFD. I like it better than the CME data in TradingView. I haven't taken the time to find out why I like the CFD data better than the futures data. I've been too busy. I'll dig into that next week. So anyhow, when I'm trading the NQs or the MNQs, I don't track those. I don't track the futures data. I track the US 100 from Pepperstone. So let's see, I typically go into indices and I select US Tech 100 Index or NAS 100 Pepperstone. So I have that data running. I'm using 1 second granular data on a premium subscription, powering my Renko bars that are vertical price distance based, and I'm on a 3 box size for this particular setup. And you'll see the template there, and if you know that way you don't have to kind of go in and build this from scratch. I've turned off some of the kind of heads up alerts. I've dimmed down some of the other ones a bit because I'm collapsing the bands and using the bands kind of like uh, kind of like a line of defense. So if you're long, or we can only take long trades when our Z trend or our what do we call it? We call it in the Z box tools, we call it the Z trend. In the QuantVue tools, we call it Q trend. So regardless of which set of tools you're on, when the trend indicator closes above the bands, the upper band, and you have an up closing candle and you have some aqua, or maybe you've colored it green, some green, now you can get long. So that was the pre-market trade. If you trade pre-market, which is no big deal. If you don't, no big deal. And the market, notice how the trend indicator stays inside of or above the collapsed bands the entire time. Our Q zone and this is an old chart, so the Z box bands are the same thing. The bands are identical, just different name. Okay, we get to about 8:30 US Central Time right in here. If you wanted to initiate into this trade, we've been in a long trade environment. We get a hook. You could enter there. You're in the trade until you decide to get out. You've met your daily goal. You see something. Maybe we came up to a key resistance area and you decide, okay, we're getting a levels test. I'm out of here. That's fine. That's up to you. Exits are adjustable depending on what your objectives are. But let's say we took every signal in a row like we were automated to see what would happen. Okay, out of the open, we're long. Right here, we got a candlestick close and the trend indicator peaking below the lower band. That's a short. Stop at most recent price pivot. Just like hitting in long right here, stop right at most recent price pivot. So you have a stop up here, you're short. Now we get a long signal. You reverse. Stop at most recent price pivot. You're long. Oh, then you got to reverse. Oh, damn it, Chris, this isn't working. That Yoda thing got me. I thought it was going to work. Oh, I forgot that I just made a bunch of money there. So now I have 2 losers in a row, 2 partial. They didn't go to full stop. Now I'm short. Oh, okay, Chris. Oh, okay, it is working. It is working. Then you're out. Then you get long. Oh, that worked too. And then you get short. Oh my gosh, that worked. Then you get long, flat trade, you get short, that worked. Then you get long, that worked. Then you get short, that worked. Then you get long, that worked, and so on. So by the end of all this, you actually believe that you can trade profitably if you don't think, and like a dumb monkey, you just followed the signals. So this is a really simplistic way, and I think my gut feeling is, from the feedback I've had, I think the reason why it's working is having the Z line, or I'm saying the Z trend or the Q trend, depending which set of tools you're on, having it and seeing it visually at or below the bands or at or above the bands, that its positioning with the bands helps a trader see, okay, am I on the good side of things or the bad side of things, in a very cut and dry way. And let's just kind of look at that. So all the price action and the trend indicator now are above the bands. I can play long side. All the trend indicator, or all the candle action and the trend indicator now below the bands. I can play short side, and so on. So it's kind of like, you're either on one side of the fence or the other. It's cut and dry. There's nothing to think about. So if you're working the short side and price and the trend are on the upside of the bands, you're not following the rules. So what I'm going to do, since I see how fast this had traction, and flipped a couple of traders that were struggling with prior setups and how quick this instantly started working for them, and they followed it. And I could tell it's because they believed in it and they believed that it could work, or they believed they could see themselves trading this way. And that is huge. That's why I try to make stuff that's visually efficient, because I want the tools to connect with the traders, what works for them visually, for them to accept, see the setup, and become instinctive about executing the trades and less where they're thinking about it. So there you have it. I'll put out the template in the Discord room for everybody with this video. I'm going to send out the video to everybody, but it's Saturday. I decided, hey, I need to put this out to the group. And the plan is in the week ahead, I will get this built as something standalone so you can easily tie the flip points that meet the criteria to the alerts. That way you guys can start, working this if this is all you want to do. Or maybe you want to trade this on gold and oil and pound yen, or maybe you want to trade it on some cryptos. It works fantastic everywhere. And this is the other thing I'm going to say. I threw this up. I have not optimized it at all, and it just instantly worked. So this is just the beginning. As I get to spend some time optimizing it and building up more templates per instruments and time frames, I think we can really, really get a good setup here for beginning or developing traders, where they'll right away believe it's going to work for them and they'll just follow it and not try to mix in into their old stuff that obviously wasn't working, and get them to just follow a simple, visually simplistic and a mechanically simplistic trade setup.